G-thoughtz.
Welcome back. My son, have a seat.
Transmission begins now. Merry Christmas, everybody. 12/25/25. The day of our Savior's birthday. Or so you've been told. Yeah. So I spent yesterday, Christmas Eve, the 24th. I spent it, with my parents, but mostly alone. I didn't really do any art, did a lot of Minecraft, blah, blah, blah. But I did watch about 3 or 4 hours worth of a pretty cool, it wasn't even one long documentary. It was a bunch of them on something called the Story Channel. Not repping, but hey, they did a fabulous job. It's a whole day on Christmas and all the different traditions and the history and all that stuff. It was fascinating. I didn't see all of it. Now I wish I did. It's curated perfectly. At least the 4 different episodes that I watched. They even threw a Modern Marvels in there. I'm like, oh, kid, you know what I like. And basically, it talked about, why we put up a Christmas tree, Kris Kringle, St. Nick, which was fascinating, by the way. How New York basically saved Christmas in this country, if you think about it. New York City saved Christmas, but that's a whole other thing. Go to the Story Channel. It was fascinating. Why we put lights on trees and blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, okay. It was a fascinating episode of some sort of program about the stars in the sky and trying to figure out what did the Magi see when they were going to see baby, or that led them to go on the long-ass journey through the desert to go see the baby Jesus. Something in the sky told them, which is interesting because I look at the sky all the time and I swear I see things in it. Things written in the sky, I'll leave that there. Almost like communication, like a billboard. If you see it, you see it. If you know, you know. And then I started thinking, and they even brought it up in one of the episodes. When was Jesus born? Because most philosophers, I think most philosophers would tell you he was born in July, but I think most archaeologists would probably tell you he was born in the fall because of all the proof and all the in the writings, I guess, and I'm not gonna, these are my words, not theirs, that the writing about the, tabernacle or something, I forget, I think it's some major feast or what have you, or bounty, and then the condition of what was going on and, what season it was in the writings and stuff, and then the art. Say, okay, it's probably fall. Makes more sense. If she was told she was going to have a child in December as a gift, conceived in December, that she'd start the new year as a mom, then that means 9 months later, that would be September. So, in a way, philosophers would tell you that, sure, Jesus was born as a thought in December, if you believe he was conceived then. I do. But he became a man in July. And it took 2 months for him to arrive. I'll leave that there. Not an abortion argument, trust me, but it's on a level so high, lit meta, I'm just going to leave that there. Thanks, philosophers. You're good for something every now and again. But the kid in me is like, wait a minute. There's no fucking way he was born in September. It makes no sense. So why the fuck would the Magi leave where they were in August? They would have to leave in August to go. You know what I'm saying? They probably arrived there in September. And that's when it took them 2 months to fucking get there. Jesus was probably born 2 months earlier, in July. July 9, 7-9. Because if you fast forward 2 months, it would take the Magi to get there. They're walking. They're not taking the tram. The tram. You know what I mean? They're not fucking flying. They're walking. They're on camel. Even worse. To stop every fucking 5 miles to adjust your nutsack or whatever's in your sack and make sure you've got something in your sack. I mean, this is the desert. You're not fucking, there's no fucking convenience stores. It took them 2 fucking months to get there. And something in the sky in July told them the Savior was born. Go to Bethlehem and prove it. That means the game begins. And they started their quest. They saw a star in the sky, be it a comet or a shooting star or whatever, or some sort of alignment of the planets that probably caused a ring in the sky of some sort. Maybe not a ring, but maybe one of the stars or clusters of stars was glowing unusually bright, and it just stuck out. It stuck out. And one of the Magi is like, wait, I've never seen that before. That's different. Let's go back to our charts, our book. Oh, shit. This is the beginning of something new. He was born. Well, let's follow the star. Let's put it at midnight in our path. The beginning of a new day. And we'll keep going until we find him. We'll go north, east, west, whatever. But that star must always be at midnight. And when that North Star of a guide got them there, it was probably September. Jesus was probably born in July. Because you wouldn't have made it a big deal unless the Magi arrived in September. Once the Magi fucking arrived, people knew it was a big deal. Nobody knew who the fuck Jesus was. They didn't give a shit about a kid being born. Who the fuck's this guy? Who's she? People, nobody knew who the fuck Mary was. Or Joseph. Maybe if they needed some, a cobbler or something. or a carpenter. yeah, get Joseph. He does a good job. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he'll do it right. He does it the right way. Yeah, Joe? Yeah. You could trust Joe. Just make sure you got cash, no check. You know what I'm saying? Credit card? Come, please. Go back to where you came from. Magi. Joe will take care of it. That was Joe and Mary. But when the Magi showed up, everyone made it a big deal. Because these are fucking pretty big-time people. They wouldn't have heard of them all the way in Bethlehem if the king didn't talk about them. The king who was afraid of the new beginning because he was afraid that he was going to die. And there was a similar prophecy that told him that the birth of the king, the new king, is going to overtake you. It's going to rise up through the people, not through the bloodline. It's going to create a new bloodline, and you're not going to be part of it. It's going to overtake your family, your legacy. You're fucked. Go kill him. And that's what the king got. That's the transmission the king got from one of his aides, who's probably linked to the stars or read the skies, saw the same thing the Magi did, but just read it a little bit differently. The details were the same, but let's say the lit was the same, but on the meta was a little different, who it was going to impact. And the Magi showing up and the king making a big deal and everybody knowing about it means, okay, this is a fucking big deal, people. This is not just any baby. What the fuck is going on here? Why her? Why him? I heard he couldn't even get it up. Oh, stop. They had to go to the clinic. Artificial insemination, and an immaculate birth. Can you imagine? I could. He was born in fucking July. It makes so much sense now. I understand the attachment to putting it in December. Sure. God, that's cool. Makes sense. It's, especially after the winter solstice. I celebrated that a few days ago. It was beautiful. You got to think something beautiful in the darkness. It's very symbolic. in the darkness that is our world and our society, there's this bright star in the sky that it's the Savior was born at this time. Think about that. Let's celebrate that in this darkness of the winter. Which makes you think, it's like, how cold does the Middle East get? Have they ever been to the fucking Northeast? Maybe Catholicism was born out of being in the fucking cold and saying, this sucks. Okay, I need something else to keep my attention other than shivering. My teeth are rattling like fucking drumsticks on the rim of a snare. What the fuck? Oh, look, there's a star in the sky. That's pretty bright. Wink, wink. But I'll wrap this up. When was Jesus born? Everyone says today, December 25th. Not 2025, but on this day, a beautiful day. And while I cannot see my kids, and that's a whole other thing, I'm probably not going to see many people at all today. I'm going to keep to myself again, and that's fine. But later tonight, there might be a bright star in the sky. There might be something shooting through the night that might give a sign or two that the new Savior is going to come and shine his light on all of you soon. I wonder when he was born. Talk soon.